Welcome. 2 o'clock in the morning. It's about 2:30 in South Africa time, Johannesburg. My name is Charles. It's something I just want to share with you guys, and I hope you'll be able to like what I'm about to share to you, and if you like it, just enjoy it and just use it in your life. I've just discovered it myself, and I'm still trying to contemplate and understand the information that I'm getting from it, and how to execute the mindset. How to execute the mindset. Basically, I'll be talking about provision era and promised land era. Provision era and promised land era. I was born in the provision era, but my mindset, I execute my life, I live my life from a promised land era. And most of you wonder what is provision era or promised land era. Provision era are people who just live day in, day out. Basically, you live from provisions. You're thinking from based on provision. Your life is based on provision. Basically, how you work, you go to work. You live from your career perspective of it. You go to work. You might have a good job. You might have a good life. Your thinking is based on provision. You don't have a future plan. Your life is not determined by your purpose. Your life is not determined by your you don't work from the heart. You live from the present. You're not living to live something out there for your children's children. You're not living to make a mark. You're not living to have a legacy. You're not living to pass on something. You're not living to change your children's generation. Provision people live from now. The life is not defined. And when we talk about provision people, as if you live from provision, everything about your life, your marriage, how you treat your children, how you treat your wife, everything it's connected somehow. Somehow is connected to everything you do. And when we talk about promised land people have an understanding that their life is not just about them. It's about the future generation. What impact they want to do in the future generation, how they treat their children, the kind of relationship they have with their children, the kind of relationship they have with their wife. They are living from a purpose. They are willing to take risks. They are willing to take risks to get to the promised land. They are not living from a place of career. They are living from a place of purpose. They want to create something. They want to build something. They want to leave something for their children's children. They are willing to go to tough time to receive. They are willing to lose the present satisfaction to get to enter into the future. They are willing to lose things. They are willing to lose. They don't live for things. They don't live for materialistic. They live to live something tangible. Henceforth, they have strong relationships with their children. They make time for their children. They make time for their wife. They have a sense of purpose. They live from the place of heart. They live from the place of contentment. It's a spiritual thing with promised land people. Yes, they want to clear to wealth. They want to have something to pass on to their children, but the spirituality beyond that, it's stronger than the things they live. They live something sustainable. They pass something valuable to their children's children. You see, it's it's more about emotionality, emotional spirituality of understanding what you created on earth. And that's how promised people they live from. You can be born from the provision era and have an understanding of a promised land era, and and this has to do with a lot of things. I'll be talking about this thing, in different contexts. I'm just giving you the general, the general overview of what's a provision era people and promised land era people. I'll give you the overview of different contexts. I'll talk about a provision man or a provision woman. I'll put all those in context from the and it cross over. It cross over all our life, how we do our life, how we treat money, how we treat our family, how we treat our business, how we treat our talent, how we treat the things that you go through in your life. I'll connect it everywhere in any area, in any situation with what I'm talking about. So you have to understand that you've got to discover and understand that which era you're born for, because our parents can be born in a different era, but they have executed a promised land kind of life, and if you take this context back to the Bible, when Israel was living, Israel people were in wilderness. They were moving from a provision point of view to a promised land point of view, and between during that time, the people that started with them from the provision era, they don't enter into the promised land. Let me repeat that. The people who started with them from the provision era, from the wilderness, from the time they went through, and the people who enter promised land, they're not the same people, because the people started with them with Moses' time, their parents' time. They grew up in that mindset, provision era. They grew up in that mindset. Their belief in God was totally different than Joshua's generation. And if I can just put some thought in Joshua's generation, Moses' generation. Moses' generation were people who knew God, believed in God, but how they believe and faith towards God was totally different from Joshua's generation and how Joshua's leadership and Moses' leadership was. Because Moses was a different kind of leader. He was a great leader. He was a leader that you come to him, you tell him that we need that, we need healing, we need and you pray about it, and okay, you guys need water, you prefer miracle and get the water, and water come through. But Joshua's generation Joshua's leadership was a different kind of leadership, where you need something, you don't come to Joshua and say Joshua needs something. Joshua say when you need something, you act towards it. You want something to happen, you act towards it, you activate your faith. You don't wait, I need water, and you're closing your hands waiting for water. No, you go out there, you find water, you believe that you can find, you need healing, you go out there, you trust that you get healing. So those are different type of era of different generations, but still practicing the same God. And the era that my parent was living and the era that we are living at was very different, and the same thing that as well is the provision era people has a different mindset than the promised land people. Provision people think of the present, I need that, I want to have that, I want to buy that, I want to have this kind of things, I want to drive this kind of things, it's about consuming, it's about having, it's about buying, which all those things are good. In actual fact, all those things are good, but that's where it ends. It started there, ended. But promising people is not about buying things. It's about owning things. It's about ownership. It's about creating. It's about producing. It's about intellectual thinking. It's about creative, innovative. The thinking, the execution come from creating ideas, innovating idea, creating something from nothing. The promised land people that they work from the place of mind. The mind is their labor. Their mind is where they execute things. They think of idea, they conceptualize the idea, they execute it, and they make it come to life. It's not about using power or using your body to do the work. It's more mindset, and henceforth it's so biblical. Henceforth it's so powerful that because why I like it that God created the world, created this earth from His word. He spoke the word, and the word and it became life. Things became life, and henceforth, if you can think of the promised land point of view, is that when you think of ideas, you believe it. The more you say it, you execute it, you declare it, you execute it, you declare it, like the power of the tongue, you declare it, and the things become to life. So it's about believing an idea, creating an idea, conceptualizing an idea, believe it in you, have faith, execute it, declare it, and things come to life. That's promised land thinkers. That's a promised land kind of thinker. It's about ownership, it's about creating things. But provision people do not think of that mindset. They just do what is given them to do. You go into work and just do. You go into work and do. Which is there's something wrong with that. But we need to change our mindset. We're not created to provide a service. There's so much in you that we want to experience. That's what we want to experience. We want to find out. And if you're a provision person and you want to move into the promised land era, there's things in you that you gotta willing to stretch. And we come back and there's things for you as something about the difference between provision people and provision people. It's fear. Provision people there's so much fear for change. They lack comfortability. They lack the comfort zone. They want to be comfortable all the time. They want to be secure all the time. They want to be comfort. They want to live in ease. They don't like comfortability. They don't want change. Provision people, they want things to remain the same. 2005 things remain the same. 2006 things remain the same. 2017 things might just be the same. Just comfortability and comfortability. You don't want to be stretched out. You don't want to feel stretched out. You don't want you don't want the water under your feet to move. You want comfortability. Not only financially, even in life general. You just want comfortability. But the promised land people live in a place of uncertainty, a place of faith. They live the place of faith. I hope you guys can see me. They live from a place of faith. From a place of hope. From a place of belief that faith is something you cannot see, but something you can believe. That's where they live. They want to stretch themselves. They want to. It's become so. You stretch yourself. You go into challenge over challenge. Stretch you. Conflict stretches you. Change stretches you. So they live in a place of of faith. You know, it's about increasing your faith, increasing your strength. You know, it's building your mind, developing your mind. You know, so you stretch yourself, and that's the way promised land people live. That's the mindset of promised land people. It's about stretching yourself, trusting God. You know, reaching. It's about reaching. Not only go, not only go, but reaching in all area: emotional maturity, spirituality maturity. You know, physically maturity. You know, emotional maturity, spiritual maturity, physically. When I talk physically, your body, you know, it's about keeping faith, you know, exercising, understanding yourself, self-awareness. You know, I've not been exercising for a while. You know, family, that, that's not that's actually not is an excuse, but I've not really, put myself into, that's for, physically more where you keep your body into a certain shape, you know. But because I've practiced it before, because I understand it before, I have a self-awareness that when my body start to feel unhealthy, when my body start to feel somehow, I can even sense it, God, God forbid, the past the past 3 weeks or the past 2 months, I could feel that that if I did not something, I did not start, if I did not go back to my routine or implement some form of simple exercise into my body, I'll have a heart attack. I didn't even tell this to my wife, but I could sense that. I could sense the limit. My body has gotten to a limit that there need to be a form of exercise in my body. Self-awareness, it's important, and most people, promised land people have self-awareness. Self-awareness. There's a limit into things. There's a limit, and the self-awareness. Usually, self-awareness comes from self-discipline. And that's what, for me, I believe that there's a lot of powerful things come from the promised land people. And don't get me wrong, they were not better. There's no anything about all promised land people are better than provision people. No, this has to do with mindset. It has to be with your area of thinking. It has to be with your how you operate. How you perceive things, how you execute things. Where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? I think for me is, if I can just, when I most of the things I'll be talking about, I'll refer based on my life or based on things I've experienced. So don't get it it twisted. This is not the world point of view. This is my point of view. This is my thinking. This is my belief, and so this is my experience. So I'm talking from my point of view, and this is where I'm coming from. That I think for me, I've lived with different kind of era of parents. My mom, I believe, it totally in my heart. I believe my mom was from a promised land era, but born in a provision era, and my father was a provisional era man, and it's so real, so defined, that when I analyze the lifestyle, when I analyze the thinking process, when I analyze the kind of relationship I had with my mom and my father, is totally the opposite of everything. The kind of the things that I've gotten from her and the things that I've gotten from him are totally the opposite of era of thinking, of thought, of a lot of things. If they say, from the simple thing, from the small thing, from the big thing, God knows I love them both. But it's things that till now when I think of my late mom, I see the promised land kind of thinking, a forgiving heart, a forgiving heart, a generosity, very giving heart, forgiving a very giving heart, a caring person, a person of principle, a straight shooter, you know, it doesn't beat around the bush. You do something wrong, you tell you this is wrong, this is wrong, this is right. It doesn't sugarcoat things. He is very straightforward. Love children, love everybody. Gives best for everybody. You need the help, you can call us, should be there for you. A very forgiving heart person. A very, very forgiving heart person, to the point that I was amazed as a young child. I'm a young child that when she died, the amount of love and stranger that came to our house, that I met, that I was willing to help us, was unbelievable. It was shocking. And this was just a beautiful soul, a caring person who were living in a town that they all just touched people's life everywhere she went. That had that promised land. Very entrepreneurship woman, business. Okay, we don't say entrepreneurship in my mom's era. Okay, that's business women in our parents' era. They were business women, not entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is our era. So very business woman. Always creating things for herself, trying new things, developing new things. Entering into new things. And I think most of my characteristic, my belief, where I am in life, what I've observed, what I went through, has been the thing that she's instilled in me. Very fearing good, very fearing from a young age. She instilled the word of God in her heart. And all those things has been a compass to life. Seriously, I promise you that all those things that she instilled has been the compass in my life. Even though my father was not around as a man, but I understood her. I understood her as a mother. I understood her I understood where she coming from, what she wanted from me, and what kind of man she wanted me to become and to be, regardless of her being alive or not. And that has been the motto of my life. And I hope I'm living that. And I've tried to live that motto, to live a life that irrespectable and with principles towards the principle she instilled in me. And henceforth, when I think of those things, I realize that her thinking of the place of promise, because she lived from a promise point of view, to make sure that wherever I am, wherever my sister and my brother have, we must live into a promise. We must enter into a promise. And the funny thing, those execution was just promised, though he did not leave us land, businesses, wealth, money. But I believe the mindset she left us, the thinking, the process, the heart, the characteristics, the principle, the integrity that she demonstrated to our life has been from a promised land that I've copied, I've inhaled. And I believe there was even a time in my life where I was lost from it so far, to a point that I was lost from that. Always had it, but I kind of lost from it, ran from it, to a point that I found myself back to it. That from that point on, I've been living that kind of mindset in life, because I kind of, there's a tragedy lost change a human being, and losing somebody you care, you know, it's something that one cannot comprehend, but I'm not gonna go into that details, I think that's not what we're here for. But we're here about talking about promised land and provision, so our thinking, our execution, our mind, our daily day basis has a different impact in our life. I'm a father, I'm a wife. I'm a father, I'm a father, and I'm a husband. When I think of my own childhood, and I think of my child's childhood now, is totally, I told my wife the last time, I'm jealous of my daughter, in the sense that the child in me wish he had a father like me. I don't know that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you. Let me repeat that. I'm jealous of my daughter, but the child in me wish I had the kind of relationship I'm having with my daughter, because I believe it's a very profound thing, As a man having a child with his daughter, it's a powerful thing. It is a very powerful thing. I think it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. Not only physically, emotionally, spiritually, it's both the child and both the father. It reaffirms a lot of things between the two relationship, and it's a wonderful thing for even a wife or a mother looking at that relationship, also reform the wife a different kind of sense. It assures the wife that my husband, or the father of my kid, love her kid, and that also transcends love to her. I don't know if that makes sense. If you don't have time, relationship with your kid, and love them, care for them, how do you think you have a relationship with your wife? Because your kid are a image of your wife, are from your wife. They're your wife and yourself. Now, if you don't spend time, invest time on them, it's highly impossible for you to spending time with your wife. It's highly impossible for you to spend the whole day with your wife. It's highly impossible for you to just be around your wife, because your kid are your image. Your kid are your wife and your self image. And if you do not have a relationship with your kid, if you cannot spend time with your kid, play with your kid, if you don't understand your kid, how would you understand your wife? Or if you don't understand your wife, you don't spend time with your wife, you don't have a strong relationship with your wife, how would you have a strong friend with your kid? So it's intertwined hammer. It has all those things come from the promised land, because promised land people want to live some sense of tangibility in the children's life, in their wife's life. They just want to live. Go to work, provide. Go to work, provide. That's not what a man are supposed to be. And once again, I'm talking from a man's point of view, not from a woman's point of view. I might say something about women, but I do not have a full context or full understanding from a woman's point of view. I only can be speaking from. I only can be full. I only have full context from a man's point of view. So I believe that has more to do with. It's more to that, not just about providing. There's food in the table, there's bread in the table. As long as they have that, that's enough for me. That's total. I don't know to. That's for me. It's not enough. That for me, it's. I found that. Yeah, I found that. That's not enough. That's not enough, because I believe that this day in life as a man, you have nothing. You run out of money. Things will happen. You lose your job if you're from a provision era, or from a promised land. It's time you'll be building a business, you'll be establishing a business, but that's something that you believe from a purpose that you run out of money or things will not work out the way it's supposed to be, and if that's only your core value to your family, is that the only valuable thing you are giving your family, then I promise you, my friend, that he will be in shaking ground. If the only value that you give to your family or to your wife is finance, is provision, then my friend, provision do run out. It's time that you lack provision, and what will sustain you when life change? When life change, let's say when your wife starts providing provision for the family, you act up as a man, or do you behave as a man? Because if that's the only source of you as a man, so when your wife start providing provision, when your wife works start to do better, or business start to do better, and you're not in that position, do you become insecure? Where do you find yourself? Because we're already living in an era where women are extremely successful, from successful, working, creating business, building, thinking as promised land women, like Abigail in the Bible, like Esther, women are doing powerful things so now. If you as a man only execute your manhood, should I say your manhood, from a place of finance, then that's not good. And henceforth, that most men, provision men, think from that perspective, that my aim as a man is just to provide. It's just to do that. I don't have time for that. Just to provide. They don't think of in the sense that, okay, as a promised land men think and say that I must have a relationship with my child, I must leave a legacy, I must leave something tangible, I must invest, time that will reflect in their life. I must have a strong relationship, I must put seed into them. Or my wife, and so it's not just about one thing, it's about everything. The life I live. Am I sowing to my marriage? Am I being faithful? Is the kind of life I'm living when I die? What kind of info my children find out? Was I a great man to them? Was I a great man to their mother? A great husband? Did I live a faithful life in marriage? All those things. I'm not gonna even act up that know much about marriage. I'm still into this journey, so but the little I know and what I'm practicing, what I've seen from great men in my cycle, in my church, in life, people I read about, I've noticed that actually that's what it's supposed to be, is that promised land men, thinkers, innovative, promised land men, successful men love marriage, care about marriage, they want impact, They want to impact. They love marriage. They love their wife. They want to be faithful. They want to live a life that has meaningfulness. They have to live a life that's, they want to live something. They want that the children to experience faithful marriage. I'm not talking about faithful marriage. I'm more talking about infidelity. I'm not faithful marriage. That once you marry a woman, that's the one you die with. You cannot get in and get out of covenant. It's not a door. It's not a school. It's not a club where you get in and get out. Let me go in and get out or come back. No, there is no break. There is no time out. You are in there for life. That's what promised land, because promised land know that whatever I do has an impact in my wife, in my children's wife, in my children's life. Whatever I do, something powerful that I read or understand, that is, people wonder that actually the fruit of your marriage, really come out later in life. I think that's all I've noticed. The fruit of your marriage. Yes, there's some fruit that you see as you go on, but they are all the fruit. The serious fruit. When I mean fruit, when you eat that fruit is succulent. If you ever eat a fresh, juicy mango, that it's so fruitless. It's so beautiful. Water. When you eat it with your mouth, like back as a child, when your mom gives you this nice, beautiful, succulent, delicious mango, as you eat it, your hands you're just messing up everything. I believe that's way. And that kind of fruitness, that kind of fruit, come later in life. After 23 years of marriage, after 10 years, after 15 years, and that's only come when there's been faithfulness. There be faithfulness in both parties. There'll be fights, there'll be ups and downs, there'll be argument, all those things will be there. But as long as this covenant was covenant, it was covered by the God. Nobody went out, nobody went in. You both, you fight, you grow, you go angry, you make money, you succeed, you buy, you lose. I think the fruit is like, I've seen it in my elder, in our churches. I've seen it in great men that I read about, great authors and pastors. I see the fruitfulness. And that kind of fruitfulness come from covenant, respecting the covenant. Miles, one of my greatest author, Miles Morrow, has this illustration that marriage is God's ID. Marriage is God's ID. And please don't get lost. All those things, when I bring something out, I'll connect back to promised land. When I bring something out, I'll connect back to provision. So bear with me. Marriage is God's ID. Marriage will always stay constant. Marriage will never change. The idea of marriage stay constant. Marriage cannot be changed over time, cannot be improved in the past. Marriage is God's idea. The idea stay the same. You cannot fluctuate, you cannot change. It's covenant. It's God's idea stay the same. No, the people in marriage do change, unfortunately. The people in marriage will change. You grow, you go fat, you go smarter, you grow, have more money, you lose money, but marriage covenant is the same. The principle is the same. They tell you it's fixed. You know why it's fixed? Because it's God's idea. It came from God, not came from man. It's God's idea. So it's the same. You cannot go and change the law of marriage, because God created marriage, not man created marriage. Same apply, that's the same principle. So, because marriage is God's idea, God is yesterday, today, tomorrow. It's fixed. You cannot change the principle. The Bible says you marry your wife. That's the only wife you'll be with. Be still covenant with him. It stays the same. You can change. Your wife can change. It's okay to change, but regardless how you change, you cannot go out of covenant because you change. You cannot go out of covenant because you decide that after 5 years or 10 years I feel different about my partner. No, you can't. You can't. Or because you change now your need of something in marriage is bigger than your previous need, so now you want to go out find that need somewhere else. No. You find that thing with your wife. You find that thing with your wife. And henceforth, as our young generation who are getting married now, henceforth, the only way to stay in marriage, the only way to stay covenant, you gotta know the will of God. You gotta know the will of God as a young man. I hardly recommend. It's impossible for a young man in this era or any era to be in marriage without knowing God. You cannot succeed in marriage without God. It's created by Him. It's created by Him. He's a manual. It's like, it's a manual of marriage. So if you marry in Christ, if you have a marriage and you want your marriage to succeed, sorry, I'm not wearing my ring. I don't even know where my ring is. People think I'm single there. I actually don't know where my ring is. I don't know where I put it. I think yesterday, I actually don't know. I left my laptop here. I think my wife just left up and